remember all this time people been like, oh, I'll wait till KD and Kyrie comes back. And I'm like, I don't know, you know. I don't know, because one, Kyrie can't stay healthy to save his life. Like, 50% of the last, like, in half of the postseason since, from 2015 onwards, he's missed half of them. Like, at some point in time, he's been injured in half. Like, I can't trust Kyrie to stay healthy. And right now, where is Kyrie? Injured. So, there you go. KD, I'm not too worried about him.
Yeah,
but the rest of the team, besides Karis LeVert, wow.
Yeah. And to be fair, their team, they have good role players, but it's like their role players on the other team are better than the role players on yours. So it's kind of
like they don't have a terrible team, but they don't have a good team.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got players like you mentioned Kyrie Irving. Obviously, we know really good player, but we've seen from the playoffs he cannot do it by himself.
But this is the thing though, when KD and let's say KD and Kyrie come back and they're playing, he won't do it at all. It'll be a Kyle Kuzma situation. Because Kyle Kuzma, when he gets touches regularly, like enough touches regularly, is good. But the problem is, like, you know this as like a ball player, you need to have like rhythm. You can't play 20 minutes in a game and have 2 shots, and then all of a sudden you're getting the ball and everyone's expecting you to be just in rhythm. Like, if you're a scorer, you need touches.
Yeah, that's the thing. They need to sort out their roster. I think what they need to offload either 1 or 2 people. Because obviously they got, like you said, they got Kyrie, they got
Triffiday.
They got Spencer Dinwiddie as well.
Oh yeah, him.
So they got a couple people that are handling the ball, and then off the ball you got Joe Harris, obviously KD.
Yeah. He's gonna be expensive to re-sign though.
Who?
Joe Harris.
Yeah.
This is contracts here. He's gonna be expensive because there's no one else. Like, free agency this year is Joe. Right.
The thing is, but they have to keep him. They have to keep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's gonna take up cap space, so that's limiting their options going forward. Because he's gonna definitely be on 15 to 20 mil a year. 100%.
Yeah.
He's a Cal Corver right now in his prime.
Yeah, they gotta keep them wing shooters, man. Especially one of his caliber.
And they don't have a lot of shooting options.
Yeah. All they got left is who they got left on their roster, like Garrett Temple. Who else they got left? Tyler Johnson.
They have a strange squad.
The thing is, Tyler Johnson can score though, but it's just one of them.
But like, I don't like. The thing is, they have a collection of talent, but it doesn't seem very cohesive.
It doesn't mesh.
It doesn't mesh at all, and I don't see how it meshes with. I mean, with KD is not the issue, because KD will come and play in any system. Yeah, we know that already. Yeah. Kyrie, we've already seen.
Kyrie can play once he's healthy.
It's a bit shaky though. Yeah. Because when Kyrie sometimes can play and he can be a point guard, and sometimes he's just like, alright, hero ball for 48 minutes.
But if KD's on the court, he won't even try it. It'll be the same thing as LeBron. He won't.
Oh, well.
I mean, every now and again he will do Kyrie ISO, but that's Kyrie. Like,
I don't know.
He will go ISO, but once KD's on the court, he'll realize, listen, I'm not the guy here. Like, he will.
I don't know if he will, because I feel like LeBron was definitely letting him know, like, look, Kyrie, you good, but there's levels to this.
And you think KD won't do the same?
KD's out here talking about Kyrie's an artist. You just gotta let him do it. That's the vibe they got going on. I'm telling you, that Brooklyn vibe is bookie, man. That Brooklyn vibe is bookie.
Oh my days. Yeah, they need to sort out over them.
I don't know what's going on. I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Kenny Atkinson for having to put up with that. Like, imagine if you had a nice cohesive squad and you got Kyrie and KD coming to your locker room.
See, that's the thing, like, you can have all the talent in the world, but if especially your supporting cast just doesn't make sense, then it won't work. Because if you look at Dallas, supporting cast is beautiful. Like, the way that it just works for them.
It's fantastic.
Because obviously you got Luka handling the ball, you got KP down in the paint. Obviously you can stretch the floor whenever he wants to.
Yeah.
Then you got Tim Hardaway Jr., who's been great.
Just to go back to the Knicks. The Knicks. Wait, I'm trying to think about the cycle here. The Knicks had Tim Hardaway Jr. and they traded him along.
They had a couple guys.
They traded him along with KP for Dennis Smith Jr. and cap space in order to sign free agents. They were aiming for KD and Kyrie, who they didn't get.
Yeah.
Rather than leaving the cap space available for future free agents that they probably also wouldn't get.
They had power forwards.
Julius Randle. Just to be clear, so this Tim Hardaway Jr. that is performing so well for Dallas was given with Kristaps Porzingis, for Dennis Smith Jr., who they now don't want, who they also could have drafted to begin with,
and now they play Frank Ntilikina,
who they booed religiously.
I didn't see even that good.
You guys deserve it. You booed Porzingis. You wanted Dennis Smith Jr. You booed Frank
Get it out.
You booed Frank Wait, hold on. Frank
Ntilikina.
Yes, that's Nicotina. Okay, whatever. You booed Frank.
Oh my gosh.
French Frank. And then you got Dennis Smith Jr. And then you said we want Frank when Dennis was playing. You deserve it.
You deserve it. Thing, you deserve all of the pain and anguish. All of it. The fans don't.
Pain belongs to you.
No, thing, bro.
Get a grip. Figure out what you want in this life. Stop wasting people's time.
No, it's true. Like, they actually don't know what they want.
They
are the most indecisive organization I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, they've seen, like, other organizations have seen people that are available. They're like, cool, we want them. But they would never in their minds hedge all their bets on it. Like, I've never seen an organization do that. See, now look at you. Just rubbish. Just rubbish. But yeah, anyway, going back to Toronto and the Nets, where them guys in the Raptors, boy.
Listen,
them cooking. Freddie VanVleet.
You know what, right now, do you know what I'm loving about the playoffs right now? He's another one that's gonna get paid. Yeah. He's gonna take up a lot of cap space on that Raptors side if he decides to resign. But
Federico.
The thing with the East is that I think the Raptors can beat the Bucks. But I think the Celtics can beat the Raptors.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh,
because the thing with the Raptors is, as good as they are defensively, the Celtics have a lot of scoring options.
Yeah, they've got firepower.
They've got 3 players that are legit 20-point-a-game scorers.
What, Kemba, Tatum, and
Brown, yeah. Like, one of them doesn't go off. One of them will go off. That's the thing. One of them, every single game, one of them goes off. And you know what I love about Jaylen Brown, yeah? His consistency.
Yeah, he's very
Because
consistent.
there will be games where Kemba doesn't really get going and Tatum is the one that drops like 30, but Jaylen Brown there, solid 20. Next game, like last night, Kemba had it going, Tatum didn't really. Where was Jaylen Brown? Right there, solid 20.
The thing is, what I like about him is that with his game, as soon as he realizes he's cold from shooting, he will just start getting to work on the inside.
Yeah.
As soon as he doesn't try and shoot himself out of the slump.
Yeah.
He just listen, 2 shots, I'm good. Let me just go straight to slash.
Let me just get, because he's so explosive and he's a good finisher at the rim. But yeah, I feel like Raptors can beat Bucks. I feel like the Celtics could beat the Raptors, but then I feel like the Bucks could beat the Celtics.
Really?
Yeah, when I say could, I'm not saying these are like my favorites. I'm saying like they could. I wouldn't. If it was a Raptors Bucks series, I would expect the Raptors to win.
Okay.
Because I feel like they're built for that and they're capable of doing that. But just because of the scoring options that the Celtics have and like the variety of ways they can kind of get it going, and they're a good defensive team as well. I feel like they could beat the Raptors. But I feel like just in terms of size and the Celtics not having an interior presence, I feel like the Bucks could beat them.
But listen, actually, let's talk about these Bucks for a second because Khris Middleton, big man. How many points has he scored across the first 3 games?
Not a lot.
That the Bucks have played. This is meant to be All-Star, number 2 on the first seed team in the East, top team, and this guy hasn't even scored above 10 points across 2 games. I'm pretty sure this guy's made like 1 free. That's your job, big man. That is his only job. Like, bro, you actually have 1 job. Like, bro, just shoot the ball. Like, you actually only have 1 role. And you can't do that.
Nah, stuff like that pisses me off.
Like, Giannis was on ropes in that first game against Orlando. Like, serious shot. Like, the thing is with Giannis, he'll always get to work. He'll always do his thing. Yeah. But in that first game, the shooters weren't popping like that.
Yeah.
Like it was
same with the Lakers, man. Lakers side went 5 for 32.
Bro.
KCP played 35 minutes and he scored 1 point. At this point in time, I am convinced KCP has more 1-point games than he has 35 games. And that is shocking. Because how can you be a professional basketball player in the National Basketball Association playing for the second most winning franchise in NBA history and you play 35 minutes in game 1 of a playoff series and you get 1 point and the 1 point came from a free throw and you didn't even have the decency to make both your flipping free throws?
Bro.
And he's on that 15 mil a year. Bro,
and people
I'll make 2 free throws for free.
People were getting mad at me when I said Melo, pick him up instead of KCP.
Listen. Why did the Lakers pick up Jared Dudley when Melo was available?
There are many questions that we have that we need answers for. Because look at Melo, look at him just shining and glistening.
This is where it is. Yeah.
Just shining.
This is where it is. Yeah. You can get superstar talents, right? And sometimes you get them by fortune. Sometimes you get them by luck. Sometimes you inherit them by circumstance. But there's one thing in the NBA that you can't luck, and that's a good franchise. You look at the Suns. The Suns drafted Devin Booker. He fell to 15th in that draft. Yeah, it was 15th. And look at how he's turned out. But for so many years, literally until this season, the Suns have been a terrible organization. Do you want to know the most recent example of how stupid they are? They had the number 1 pick in the 2018 draft. Why does that matter? Because who was in that draft? Luka Doncic. And you know what's so funny? You know what the Suns... No. Let me paint you a better picture, actually. I think it was 2016 going into the draft deadline, or was it 2017? Let's say 16. I'm going to say 16. Going into the trade deadline. Yeah? The Phoenix Suns had 3 starting level point guards. Goran Dragic, Isaiah Thomas, Eric Bledsoe. By the end of the trade deadline, they had traded Goran Dragic for basically nothing. Isaiah Thomas for basically nothing. They were left with Eric Bledsoe, who less than a year later tweeted, "I don't want to be here."
I ain't gonna be here.
I ain't gonna be here. By the end of that period, by the end of the following season, they went from having 3 starting level point guards to none. And going into that 2018 NBA draft, they still did not have a point guard. And in a draft where they could have got Trae Young or Luka Doncic, who, by the way, is the youngest player to have 70 points over his first 2 playoffs games. You know, dropping 40-point games in his first ever playoff games against the Los Angeles Clippers, by the way. Okay, in case you didn't know, averaging 29, 9, and 8 for the season, in case you weren't aware. He's quite good.
Without KP in the first game, for the majority.
Right. He's quite good at this thing called basketball. He's especially good at creating plays. He's actually an oversized point guard who can create his own shot and create shots for others. He runs an offense like he's a veteran. Why? Because he's a veteran, because he's been playing pro since he was 16. And the Suns, with the number 1 pick in the NBA draft, who did they select? DeAndre Ayton. All you point guards need good decision making. Does DeAndre Ayton have good decision making? No. Because he missed the first 25 games of this season because he got suspended for...
He was on them drugs.
He was on them drugs.